TV. I'm Kristi James, co-hosting from the Billabong XXL Awards. I've got Greg Long right over there. I've got James Holner right over there. Pretty excited right now. I'm in the middle of all the action, and we've got some very important questions to ask, so make sure you don't go anywhere. You're right here on Skuff TV. So, James, obviously you're up for pretty much the biggest award of the night. Now, do you think that that wave was a bit more filled in for you? You didn't so much have the step.
I think it was unique because it was more of just a total barrel the whole time, and it had a tiny step in it, but if you see the shots, like, it's just a big freight train.
Were you freaking out when you saw that step from 20 meters away, or what?
Not really. I didn't really have much time to think about it, to be honest. The step came up really quick. I knew I was really high on the wave, but you know, when I hit the step, I was kind of more concentrating on making it than had any time to be scared or about what was going to happen.
Twiggy. Skinny guy, yeah. Twiggy. So you're up for Paddle of the Year.
I'm up for, Paddle of the Year and biggest wave.
How big do you think that wave was on that day, or do you have no scope of how big it was?
The Tafelberg wave, look, I think all the tone waves in the 60-foot plus region, you know, and yeah, that's a big wave.
Dungeon seems like a pretty scary wave.
Dungeons is really scary. In the scope of things, I'd say Mavericks is probably a heavier actual wave, but Dungeons has got all the factors. It's far out to sea, there's a seal island, there's obviously big sharks lurking around, and it's really remote in that, so that's what makes it scary. Is
there ever a thought that goes through your mind that this might be the last wave you ever ride?
Once you're actually surfing or paddling for the wave or getting to your feet, you know, there's no real time to think. It just becomes, you know, natural instinct takes over, and yeah, I think if you think too hard at that stage, you're pretty much gonna see your ass.
So as like a younger girl, when you were starting to learn, did you have like a couple of really good guy friends that would take you out and push you hard?
Not when I was young, but now I have. The boys push me all the time. They're pushing my limits for sure.
So do you get a chance to ride with men most of the time, or are you riding with a lot of women a lot of the time as well?
Men mostly.
Is there ever like a time when you're standing at the top of a 50-foot lip and you're thinking, I might not make it out of this alive. I've got a wife and kids at home. If I don't make it out of this alive, at least I'll die knowing that I did something I love.
Actually, the thought has never crossed my mind, and I always know I'm coming home. If that thought ever did enter my mind, I'd throw in the towel and wouldn't paddle out, or I'd paddle in, or I would let go of the rope or get on the ski.
And how does this wave, Dungeons, I mean, it looks like a pretty gnarly wave in comparison to some of the others up for the competition. How do you feel about that wave? Do you think that you've got kind of a competitive edge just in the technicality of the wave itself?
Well, the wave itself to me is the most difficult to paddle into of any of the big wave breaks that I've surfed, just given the fact that it moves around the reef a lot more. Mavericks per se, takeoff zones maybe, you know, 75 feet wide by, you know, 75 feet, so it's basically centrally located. This probably spans over the you know, length of a football field and always shifting, getting caught inside, and when it does happen, there's literally only fractions of a moment to where it's good. So that was one case in point to where, you know, I'd just been cleaned up by one of the biggest waves of my life, paddled back out there frustrated, and, you know, sure enough, there it was, you know, a wave that I never would have dreamed of, you know, the ones that I used to draw in my school books of, hey, you know, can you actually ride a barrel that big? So for me, it was the ride of my life, and, you know, win or lose, that's all that matters to me.
And for my final question, not the most technical question, do you know what a billabong is by any chance?
A billabong.
You're American, right?
I am a Seppo, unfortunately. Billabong.
So what's a billabong?
Cut.
It's a little water hole in the middle of the desert with trees around it that all the animals go and drink out of. I think.
I just knew because of that movie Australia. Holy smoke, I just forgot. What is it again?
What's a billabong? It's an animal.
That's exactly right.
I do know what a billabong is.
What is it?
It's a small stagnant pool of water that's attached to a river.
I think that's a Wikipedia definition. That is excellent. Yeah. That does it for the Billabong XXL Global Big Wave Awards. I'm Kristi James. You're watching Skuff TV. Peace out.
How's it, everybody over there in Australia? You're with Garrett McNamara watching Skuff TV. All right.